Today I'm going to talk about smudge painting. Sometimes people ask you to color a photo for them. They'll offer you something like this, a half-tone newspaper print. Um, it is colorable just the way it is, but you can also use this half-tone to turn it into more like an oil painting look. It's fun. I enjoy doing it. And you can take a picture from this to looking like this. Looks like an oil painting to me. The first thing I would do is duplicate the layer, because I never want to touch the background. I always want to keep that layer untouched and original. Just in case I mess up, I can always go back. I haven't destroyed my original. As with any other coloring, the first thing I want to do is desaturate it, adjust my levels. And for smudge painting, I may even want to make it more contrasty, just to help me out. And then I may be being overboard, but I also duplicate that layer so I don't, in case I don't like what I'm doing, I don't have to repeat all those adjustments. The smudge tool can be found over here on the left. The blur tool may be what's showing or sharpen. But if you just click and hold that, this fly out menu will happen, and just click on the smudge tool. The controls for the smudge tool are up here. You have all the same brushes that are available with any other tool. I usually use this soft round brush, and sometimes I use this chalk brush, just because I like the raggedy edges that it gives me. And I'll show you that later. You can size the brush just like any other. Change the hardness. It's all the same as any other. You can change the tip shape, things like anything you could do with any other brush. I usually keep it in normal mode. My strength, I typically turn it down 25 to 30%. Keep sample all layers unchecked, and I uncheck finger painting. And this particular one is for if you're using a pen and Wacom tablet, which I don't have. I use a mouse. So, as you can see, if we zoom in here, all these little pixelated dots is how the newspaper causes shading. There are more dots where it's darker, fewer dots where it's lighter. And I use that to my advantage when I am painting. I usually start out right in the center of the forehead and just start smudging those pixels together. And if you noticed, I went left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And then I did just a slight up and down motion just to kind of blend those together. And then I just go next to it, do the same thing. What I'm looking for is for the dots to disappear and it to gray out. I'm also trying to stay where, see here, there's a color change. I don't want to smear this up into here. I want to keep that where it belongs. The shading is over here, not in the center of his forehead. So I'm not making big swooping motions with my mouse. It's very small, little subtle shakes. Just blending those colors together. And I may go a little farther and then come back and blend again. Just kind of getting a rhythm going. Like I said, don't drag this way over here. See, there's a third color. See, there's very light, medium, it's getting darker. There's a darker spot right there. And I don't want that to totally disappear, I just want it to blend. Normally your temples are darker than your center of your forehead, so that's perfectly natural the way that looks. And then I'm here to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. And you see all the dots disappear. Now you may wind up with a distinct line, and if you want to go back and blend that out, you can, or if you like the look of it, you can keep it. Sometimes I like the look. There's some people have this distinct line right at their temple, especially thinner people. So I just work on that. Now I'm going to come down his nose. One of the things that's important when you're smudge painting is to follow the contour of the face. This, I go straight up and down the top of the nose. I might shake it side to side just slightly just to help blend it, but I don't want to smear it across his face. It's the wrong direction. The sides of the nose, I start going down. I'm following the contour of his skin, this little nostril area. And the more you blend it, the better it looks, in my opinion. But it's very small little shakes of the mouse over and over. It is time consuming, but to me it's fun. I like it. Let's see, there's his nose. Even inside here, I'm intentionally leaving the glasses frames untouched. I probably will come back and smudge them as well, but at first I want to get his skin in here, and I am trying to follow the contour of his face, and I can see he has a little bit of a bag under his eye. I don't want to erase that, which I would erase it if I went up and down. I want to follow that line. I want to keep it and preserve it. Now underneath here I want to smooth it out just a little bit, but I want to preserve that little bag under his eye. I would consider smudge painting an art. There is some skill to it, but I would definitely consider it an art and not just playing, because you do have to have some knowledge and ability. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. If you just go in there and start smearing everything, it won't look like a face anymore. So you have to kind of know anatomy of the face a little bit, know what you're seeing. The earlobe, it's the same thing. You can't just smear a big blob of ear there, which I didn't mean to click that. You can't just smear a big blob or you won't have an ear. I turn the size of my, and here I'm trying to follow the top of his ear right here, preserving this shadow that shows that's a fold. The top of the ear should be highlighted a little bit, and underneath here should be darker. So I do those two areas separately and don't smear them together. So what you're actually doing is drawing with your mouse or your pen and tablet. You just kind of have a base already there. And see this highlight right here, I want to preserve that, so I'm not smearing into that highlight. I'm going to do that highlight separate. Follow the contour of his ear. And then the shadow here, same thing. So yeah, it's definitely time consuming. I can spend quite a bit of time just doing the face alone. Saving that shadow, saving that line right there. And once you get your basic shape, then you can go back and kind of refine where the highlight and the shadow goes. Make sure you don't have any more dots from the pixels, the newspaper print showing. I'm not gonna have you sit here and watch me do everything, so let me see, move on to something else. Hair. His hair was the same thing. You can see the strands, you can see which way his hair is going. There's a part here. You can see, actually I don't know if I went up high enough with this forehead here. But you can see it's kind of feathering down onto his forehead. There's a part. This hair goes this direction. This hair kind of flips up this way. Gradually, it's a deeper bend in the hair. So follow the hair. Remember you're drawing, you're not just smearing the things together. So you want to just gradually build it up. Save those highlights. Don't overblend, especially on hair. And just really looking for those dots to disappear. Now see, that looks like strands of hair now. And I do like sections at a time. And see, this one's bending that direction. This one's kind of flipping up. So I want to follow that edge there. So on. This hair is kind of coming down onto his forehead. And then this here changes direction again and comes down. Just kind of work on the bangs a little bit. And there we go. Now a lot of times, like, I'm really happy with what I've done here, so I don't want to mess it up. So what I'll do is just go ahead and make another duplicate layer. And sometimes I'll do that, especially if I do like a really hard area, like here around the eye. I say, whew, I don't want to mess that up, so let me save that. So all I do is just duplicate the layer, and then if I go in here and start working on, say, the eyeglasses and the eyebrow, and I mess up what I had already done, I can easily just delete that layer where I messed up, and I'm back to where I'm happy with what I had done before. So don't be afraid of duplicating the layer, and you can duplicate it every few minutes. Also, because this is very labor intensive, time consuming, I would recommend you save every 5-10 minutes. Just make it a habit. Save your work, save your progress. Photoshop will do like an auto recovery, but still, just make it a habit, because this is a lot of work, it's a lot of time. You don't want to lose what you've done, so save periodically, every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with. But as you can see, it starts looking more like an oil painting rather than a newspaper print. And I'm not going to film the whole thing with me talking about it. Now I might go ahead and keep filming where you can watch if you want, or you can stop watching if you're bored. So, but let me show you, before I do that, let me show you what I did in this, if I can get it to open. This is the end. So after, let me turn all these off. Okay. Alright. So there was my background after I did the levels adjustment and turned it to black and white. There was my completed smudging. This, what I did is I took the I made a copy of it, and then I went into filters and filter gallery, and I gave it a burlap texture just to kind of make it look more like a painting. Now zoom in here, you can see the texture. And then I started colorizing after I did that. This down here, this was done with the Smudge Tool, using this chalk that I said I liked a lot. I used it. I made it. Where is it? I spaced it out, turned on the scattering, and I just scumbled around the edge just to kind of blend that neck into the background. Then I started coloring, and I have my base color of his face, second color for his face, blush, lips, shading for his lips, highlights on his lips. This is, let me zoom in, get the hand. This is getting started on the eyes, more on the eyes, some highlights. That's all just a lot of layers where I was messing with getting the eyes right. There's a base color for his hair. I added another shade on top of that, another shade on top of that, and some highlights, some lowlights for his hair, the suit jacket, tie, shirt. Now this background, for the background I did a gradient, and I did this radial gradient, 2 shades of blue. It came out from the center so that it was lighter behind his head and darker when it went to the edges. And you can see, and then I masked it off to bring him back out, and you can see here my mask is kind of rough because of that scumbling I did. So after that I made a new layer. Actually, I did a stamp visible, which is Control Alt Shift and E all at once. I did a stamp visible, and then I did some more blending with that chalk, and just blended all around, because I wanted it to kind of look like those photography studios backgrounds. And then I had to mask some out where when you blend with this and scatter, it'll scatter way up in places you don't want it, so then you have to mask it back out. And I used the same brush to mask with, so the shape all matched. So that was it for this one. I kind of cheated with his eyeglasses. I don't know if you noticed when I colored his skin. Well, can't show you that because I have this stamped here. Anyway, when I colored his skin, I went right over his glasses too. I thought it was a good enough color. And I did the same when I did the shade, the second shade of skin. So, if you have any questions, let me know. But that is smudge painting. I find it very relaxing, fun. I enjoy doing it. And I really like the results. Thank you for watching. you actually watched this far, good on you for having patience. Just let me know if you need any assistance with smudge painting, and have fun with it. Thank you.